Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are delving into a dark chapter of human history, a story that exposes the horrific realities of the transatlantic slave trade. Join me as we explore the full story of the Zong Massacre. The transatlantic slave trade was a deeply unsettling period, lasting for over 400 years, during which millions of Africans were captured, enslaved, and transported across the Atlantic Ocean to the Americas. One tragic event that shed light on the cruelty and inhumanity of this trade was the Zong Massacre. Our story begins aboard the slave ship Zong, owned by a Liverpool-based company, in the year 1781. The Zong embarked on a journey from West Africa to the Caribbean with around 440 enslaved Africans on board. The voyage was perilous and marked by harsh conditions, including overcrowding, malnutrition, and disease. The Zong's captain, Luke Collingwood, faced the situation. The ship was overcrowded, and disease was rampant among the enslaved Africans. With limited supplies and a shortage of drinking water, the crew faced the risk of their valuable cargo perishing before reaching their destination. In a chilling act of desperation, Captain Collingwood made a shocking decision. He ordered the jettisoning of a number of enslaved Africans overboard. His rationale was to claim insurance on the lost cargo if they were deemed to be thrown overboard due to necessity. Over the course of several days, the crew of the Zong systematically threw over 130 enslaved men, women, and children into the sea. The conditions were brutal, and many were still alive when they met their watery grave. Their cries and struggles fell on deaf ears as the Zong sailed on, leaving a trail of death and despair behind. Captain Collingwood and the Zong's owners saw this horrifying act as a calculated business decision. They believed that by sacrificing the lives of enslaved Africans, they could file an insurance claim for the lost cargo and recoup their financial losses. However, the insurance company denied the claim, sparking a legal battle that brought the massacre to public attention. The case of Gregson v. Gilbert became a landmark legal battle that aimed to determine whether the insurance company was obligated to pay the ship's owners for the enslaved Africans thrown overboard. The trial drew the attention of abolitionists, who used it as a rallying point to expose the inhumane practices of the slave trade. They argued that the Zong Massacre was not an isolated incident, but rather a representation of the systemic brutality inherent in the transatlantic slave trade. The Zong Massacre played a pivotal role in shaping public opinion and fueling the abolitionist movement in Britain. It brought attention to the unimaginable horrors faced by enslaved Africans during their transatlantic journey. The Zong Massacre stands as a stark reminder of the atrocities committed during the transatlantic slave trade. It serves as a testament to the strength and resilience of those who fought against this abhorrent system. As we remember this dark chapter in history, let us strive to ensure that such acts of inhumanity are never repeated. Legal proceedings. The legal case surrounding the Zong Massacre garnered significant attention. The ship's owners sought to collect an insurance payout for the loss of the slaves, arguing that the action was necessary to save the remaining cargo. However, abolitionists such as Granville Sharp and Olaudah Equiano seized the opportunity to expose the horrors of the slave trade. The court ruled in favor of the owners, but the case brought the issue of slave trade to the forefront of public consciousness. Public outrage. The Zong Massacre sparked widespread public outrage and contributed to the growing anti-slavery sentiment of the time. The deliberate killing of slaves for financial gain shocked many, leading to increased calls for the abolition of the slave trade. The incident became a rallying point for abolitionist activists and played a significant role in shaping public opinion. Impact on the abolitionist movement. The Zong Massacre became a turning point in the abolitionist movement. It highlighted the inhumanity and brutality of the slave trade, leading to a renewed sense of urgency in the fight against slavery. The incident fueled the momentum of the abolitionist movement and inspired activists to redouble their efforts in advocating for the end of the transatlantic slave trade. Historical significance. The Zong Massacre is remembered as one of the most horrifying incidents of the slave trade era. It exposed the callousness and disregard for human life that characterized the industry. The event played a significant role in shaping public opinion, mobilizing abolitionist activism, and contributing to the eventual abolition of the transatlantic slave trade in the early 19th century. Cultural and literary impact. The Zong Massacre also left a lasting impact on literature and the arts. It has been the subject of numerous literary works, including poems, novels, and plays. Writers such as M. Nerb C. Phillip, Fred Dagwire, and Carl Phillips have explored the historical event and its implications in their works, keeping its memory alive and continuing to shed light on the horrors of the slave trade. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the story of the Zong Massacre. Remember to like and subscribe to our channel to stay updated on more historical narratives.